How did Bryce Young look this week in week 8? Well, on this play right here, you can't get out of your own way. Bryce Young is right here in the shotgun formation, drops back. Look at the penetration by the Denver Broncos.
Came into this game, Steve, leading the league in pressures.
Let me tell you something. The Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, under pressure, bro, 36% of the time. We're leading to 13% of the sacks coming. Total pressure of passer of any kind generated by the defense. It's a hell of a lot. Just bottom line. One of the other things, they can't keep doing things to harm themselves. Jalen Coker runs a outstanding route. Guy out of Holy Cross. I did a breakdown of him back in April. He's a young man who was not drafted, but he's sliding into the rotation pretty good. And Bryce is starting to get familiar with him. He was also the guy that scored a touchdown. But watch this route. Sit there, right there on the numbers. Goes inside pressure. You got a holding penalty. Great catch. Contested catch. Boom. But unfortunately, got a penalty. Holding. Coming back. And that makes it very difficult. Look at the pressure, bro. Look at this.
This isn't the game you wanted to come back off the bench for, Steve, this defense. It's not a get-right defense.
This is not a get. Yeah, it's a get-right if you own defense, but it's not the get-right for the offense. Not at all. Great concentration. Now, I got this play up because here's why I have this play up. When you look at Bryce, I believe playing him last year was a mistake because he was not prepared based off of what he had to deal with in the coaching situation under Frank Reich. Unfortunately, Frank was relieved of his duty, so we could sit here and say, well, we want to blame it. I'm not blaming. I'm just telling you, when you get a young guy and he bites off more than he could chew, there are times that the small things that you did in college, because you revert back to what got you here, the small things in college don't work out. This play right here is a screen. They're running a little quick screen going to the left. He's right there. He's smart. He's adjusting. Pause it right there. The center is identifying, hey, we're sliding left. Why are they sliding left? Because they have a play, quick little pass going to the left. Generally, when Bryce Young gets in trouble, you know where he rotates or tries to scramble, outrun? To the right. Play. Watch this. They're sliding left. Little screen right there. Look at him. Come on, bro. Look at it. He abandons the throw.
Immediately?
But the play is designed to go left. Go to the end zone for this play. Let me show you. Watch.
Pat Surtain
Tight
coming
end.
off the edge there.
Yes. Watch this. Boom. He goes, throw the ball, bro. Throw the football. You got the tight end running a run play. You see it? Sliding left. Boom. Throw the ball. In college, he would have juked that guy like he's doing. The D lineman wouldn't have been as fast as him, and he would have got the first down. What I love about this play right here, he throws the ball deep. Gets out there, pressure's coming. You got Legette underneath, throws it. Coker comes down with a good catch. I personally think 17 and 18 for the Carolina Panthers are the future. Jonathan Mingo's a guy, he just hasn't, it hasn't worked out for whatever reason, but they're giving all these other guys opportunities, and they're taking advantage of it. Jalen Coker is an undrafted rookie who has great hands. He's not a speedster, but he knows how to run his route. He reminds me kind of, he's like a D-Hop a little bit, where he can fool you with his speed, but he's going to come up with the catch, man. He's a young kid that's just chomping at the bit and just getting started. I love, obviously, I love Jonathan Mingo, work with him, continue to work with him. And so it's just one of those things where it has nothing to do with oh, man, your favorite. Man, I like when I'm working with receivers, I enjoy watching film on them and talking about the why and the what. Jalen Coker, man, that's a young man. That's a bad mamma jamma. Shut your mouth, Steve. Shut your mouth. Boom. But look at all the people that are in the backfield, though.
He got hit, too, yeah.
He got hit several times. Tough, man.
Zach Allen's playing like an all-pro right now. I think that's...
Bro, Zach Allen's a monster. The consistent penetration and the four-man rush did not give the Carolina Panthers an opportunity to run the football effectively. Everything they tried to do was neutralize penetration, the rush. Just, it's hard to work with when you don't have time. And you can't do long development plays because you're getting a holding or penetration. And then also, do I throw it short? Do I throw it long? Sometimes it's not enough time. He doesn't have enough time in there making the right decisions quick. When you're back in that huddle and you're back there in the pocket and guys are constantly flashing in front of you, man, we all can say what we're going to do until you get your feet in that hot water. It's always different sitting there from the couch.
I love this breakdown. I love getting a chance to see what actually a quarterback is going through, right? Because we're all on the couch going,
right now.
We're on the couch going, every Panthers fan wants to know what's happening with Bryce Young, Steve. And getting a chance to take an inside look at it is brilliant. What I'm curious about moving forward, though, is you have a massive decision to make at the end of this season, in a couple of months. Why wouldn't you play him the duration of the year to further educate yourself when you're making that decision on what you want to do with quarterback after this year?
Because you can study long and study wrong sometimes. I don't believe putting him out there would help him based off the way he's looking. When things are perfect, when they have a play, in the beginning of the game when they had the turnover and they were able to not really have to worry about the rush and penetration and the consistent pressure, it was easy, 7 points. But as the game went on and they started to see how to rattle him, how to get him uncomfortable, things started to decline. And you don't want to continuously throw somebody in the fray when they're already struggling. Your offensive line out, the guards, perfect. The tackles, both tackles, aren't playing up to snuff that you would love them to play at. And so you want a quarterback that's back there with Andy Dalton who understands that it doesn't have to be perfect. For Bryce Young, I'm saying it has to be perfect. The same way it has to be perfect for Will Levis is because they're still fresh out of college. These guys haven't had what they've been dealing with in the National Football League longer than they've been in the league. They've had more success on the football field than they've had the lack of success they've had on the football field longer, right? Will Levis was throwing dimes. Bryce Young at Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner, dimes. He's not used to this.
You know what, Steve? That's a really interesting point because what I've heard from evaluators around the league is there was a lot to like about the path that, say, Michael Penix took or Bo Nix took or Jaden Daniels took because there was adversity. There wasn't constant success from the minute they walked on campus, right? Like Jaden Daniels transferred. Bo Nix, things did not go well in Auburn and had to go to Oregon. What they've been through, in some of these evaluators' minds, it actually has benefited them in their rookie season. Now, Michael Penix isn't playing, but those other two, what they've been through in terms of adversity, Steve, that's a great point that you brought up. Not a whole lot went wrong for Bryce Young at Alabama.
And it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. No, it's not his fault. You only can deal with the situation that you're put into, and he's put into a situation in Alabama with a whole lot of talent around him and a whole lot of success. I'm just saying some of the adversity that, say, Jaden Daniels has been through, Bo Nix has been through, they're saying that helped them deal with some of the things that get thrown at you at the NFL level because they've been through some stuff. And that's always been a trait. It was actually one of the knocks on C.J. Stroud coming out. Everything's gone really well for you at Ohio State. You got first-round receivers coming out every single year that you're playing with. And so it is interesting when it happens and what type of situation that you're playing in when you get to the league. So what do they do, Steve? What would be your plan? You're not you don't get paid. You said it. You don't get paid by the Carolina Panthers. But if you were and you were sitting up there in a box or a suite or a corner office, what's the next steps, I guess, to figure out because you might be picking near the top of the draft.
Well, first of all, I think they did the right move by sitting him down, kind of letting the storm calm down in his mind. I think that's been really helpful because you can look and see that things were not clicking. It was not improving from his second year. They're still playing with some young guys, inexperienced. So
True.
Things are still the same. The difference is I feel like they have an identity, right, that with Andy Dalton. They're going to try to push the ball down the field. Miles Sanders is going to run the ball. Chuba Hubbard is the starter. They're going to try to run the ball. Blackshear, you know what he could present, what he presents. There's so many little small things. Ian Thomas is the blocking tight end, right? Tommy Tremble is the receiving tight end. It's just a lot of things that have changed, but some things have not changed. And one of the things that hasn't changed for Bryce Young is the adversity that he's dealing with up front, getting pressure all the time. That hasn't changed. And so because it hasn't changed, he's looking to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And I don't blame him, right? Bottom line. Now, when you're a Panthers fan and you're sitting there and you want to root for a good team, well, you just gotta take it and say, hey, man, this is not the year. But there are gonna be some things in this evaluation process for the whole team that you're going to say, okay, we should keep this guy. This is a guy we need to evaluate. This is a guy that may be teetering. And so I think they're giving their young guys an opportunity to see what they have. They know they're going into training. They're going into the offseason, when the season's over, knowing this is also a team who brought in 43 new players to this team. Josie Jules, he's a great player. But you got to, you didn't expect that Brown was going to go down.
Yep.
Nobody thought that. Nobody said, man, when he goes down, we'll be fine, right? Then you have Sam Franklin. He broke his leg catching a punt. Now he's back. So it's just a lot of little small things that are happening that you just didn't expect.
Probably not the first year that Dave Canales was looking forward to having, but we'll see what they end up making in terms of decision-wise. I'll say this before we go, Steve, and I know this as a fact. If they decide at any point to move on from Bryce Young, there will be interested teams. I'll just say that there are teams.
Okay. So what you're saying is all the fans that say that he can't play, all these other teams think he can.
There's something that these teams see for sure. Now I will say this.
I'm not saying that he can.
Yeah.
I'm just listening, and I'm an active listener, so I was repeating to make sure I heard it right.
100%. I mean, they just played the Broncos. Look at Denver. Look at what has happened with Zach Wilson in a year. The Broncos like Zach Wilson quite a bit. I'm not making any comparisons between the two of them as players. I'm just saying coaches like to get their hands on talent.
Yeah,
right?
They do.
And
the coaches also believe
that they can do it better than anybody else.
Yes. Well, that guy don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Wait till I get with him.
Oh, wait till I get him.
Yeah. So, I mean, my point is there is still talent there that there are coaches that see. But now, it depends what the price is. Let's get Bryce Young for this. Yeah. So there are teams that definitely still think there is talent there to work with. So we'll see what ends up happening. It's fascinating.